Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be another movie review, and this movie I'm going to be reviewing, I didn't have any interest in this, but it's by far probably one of the most unnecessary sequels I've seen, and that movie is Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Now, if you guys remember, I really liked the first Hot Tub Time Machine. In fact, I loved the first Hot Tub Time Machine. I thought it was a really good comedy. I thought it was really original. I thought it had some great heart. I thought it had some really good messages in there as well. I thought the four guys worked really well together. It was really funny. It had some really memorable moments, and I even considered getting it on Blu-ray, and I still might get it on Blu-ray. Hopped Up Time Machine 2, though, I never watched that movie and thought we need a Hopped Up Time Machine 2. In fact, I don't think anyone really wanted this. Did anyone watch Hopped Up Time Machine and think we need a Hopped Up Time Machine 2? Nobody did. This was a cash grab, and after watching Hopped Up Time Machine 2, I tried to go in with an open mind. I'm like, okay, some sequels, some people really dislike, some I really like. And after watching Hopped Up Time Machine 2, this is one of the most unnecessary sequels I've ever seen in my life. Hopped Up Time Machine 2 is completely unnecessary, and I didn't like it very much at all. I'm going to talk about the problems that this movie has. And first of all, Hopped Up Time Machine 2, it just doesn't work, in my opinion. I'm going to talk about why. Let's get to the plot of Hopped Up Time Machine 2. We start off where we left off, where we're going back to everyone's life. We see that Lou has become this huge star, he's this really big dick now. He is with his band and everything, while Nick has become a popular musician, mainly because he's made hit songs from the present, which I find really funny. One day, though, all the guys, Lou and Nick and, Lou, Nick, and what's the other guy's name? Jacob. They all come back, minus Adam, because Adam is now somewhere. Adam is not in this one. John Cusack did not want to return for this movie. They go to Lou's party for his band at the Grammys, and Lou ends up getting shot in the dick by someone, and they have to go back in time to try to prevent it. But they end up going back into the future, going back too far into the future, and that's basically the plot of Hopped Up Time Machine 2. Yeah, it's really fucking stupid. Just from the title right there, that tells me it's a cash grab. I mean, seriously. The title could not be, the plot alone could not be more fucking stupid. It is one of the dumbest plots ever. Especially when compared to the first plot. The first plot, of course, was about the guys wanting to help out Lou and get him on a good path with his life. And this movie, there are so many things that are missing from this movie that made the first one so good. I'm going to talk about it. Let's talk about the acting overall. For the first 20 minutes, before we went back in time to the future, I thought this was a pretty funny movie. It just felt really unnecessary. Craig Robinson, Rob Corddry, and Clark Duke, they're all trying. Craig Robinson especially as Nick Weber. They're trying to make him like the big focus now, and it just doesn't really work. His storyline, I really do like, and I like what they're doing with his storyline. They keep making fun of the fact that he's ripping off songs from the present. I find that to be very funny, but I just thought overall, it did not work. I mean, they're trying to make him, like, the big focus here, and I thought while he's trying, I just didn't care as much about his character as I did in the first one. Rob Corddry was probably the most disappointing part of this movie, because I fucking loved his character in the first movie. In fact, he stole the show so many points in that movie. Here, he is one of the most annoying things I've ever seen in my life. The whole movie, he's just ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting, and I understand his character's supposed to be annoying, but he was like a lovable kind of annoying in the first movie. Here, he's just annoying. And everything he said, I'm just like, get off the screen, you're so annoying. And he wasn't funny at all. He was just being a dick the whole movie. And while he was a dick in the first one, he did have some moments of heart and some moments where you did care about his character. That's not present here. The whole movie, he's just being a giant dick, and it just doesn't work, okay? There's a difference between being a lovable dick and then just being a dick. He's being a dick in this movie, and I just thought his character was really dumb overall. I did not like what they did with his character, and it was really disappointing because I really liked his character. Clark Duke, I thought, was probably the best one in this movie. Everything he said, a lot of his lines, had me laughing hysterically. Clark Duke was great in the first one, but this one I think he really shined. He honestly stole the show here. Out of the four guys, he was the funniest. He really was really funny. A lot of his lines I was laughing hysterically at. I mean, the fact that he kept referencing time travel movies I thought was really great. That I really enjoyed that part of the movie. Adam Scott replaces John Cusack in this movie, and it doesn't work whatsoever. His character comes into the movie, and he is he's trying to do a good job. Okay, I understand that he's holding his own, he is, but he's not good in the movie. He doesn't work with these four guys. I didn't feel a dynamic between them. I felt like something was missing. That thing that was missing was John Cusack. John Cusack was the thing that held these four guys together. The chemistry between Craig Robinson, Rob Corddry, Clark Duke, and Adam Scott really is not there. In fact, it kind of feels like, it feels different. It really does, and it doesn't work. And without Cusack, you kind of lose the heart of the first movie, because there was so much heart in the first movie, and there's none of that here. There's no heart in this movie. It's just a stupid, silly movie, and it doesn't work. When you take out all that heart of the first movie, you're left with, why the hell am I watching this? That's really the point. It was really, really dumb overall. And Adam Scott, his character honestly ruined the movie for me. He really did. Not so much his character, but what he was getting these guys to do, and when we went to the future in general, that's the biggest problem with this movie. I'll get to the screenplay, but Chevy Chase is in this movie, and again, his character just felt unnecessary at this point. I mean, his character is really funny in the first one. I love the fact that they were making fun that he was there again, but they had nothing to do with him. He had nothing to do in this movie. He had nothing funny to say. He had nothing funny to tell them, and there was nothing that I liked about his character. Everyone else I thought was just okay. No one was, like, amazing. No one was that good, and it was really disappointing overall. The directing by Steven Pink. I don't know if he directed the first movie. He did direct the first movie. And I don't know what happened here, but I'm pretty sure that he just made this for a quick buck. And honestly, guys, I'm being honest, the directing to this movie felt like a short film. Like, the first 5 minutes of this movie is a segment where it's like a reality TV show where we're catching up with all them. That honestly just felt like it could have just been a short film on the DVD of the first one. It really did. I mean, his directing was not very good. It's all over the place. This entire movie is all over the place. When they go to the future, this movie is all over the place. Especially when they meet Adam Scott, it turns to an entirely different movie. And it's like, well, the first 20 minutes of this movie was so different than this. Why is this happening? I mean, the first movie had a consistent tone in the 80s. It had this tone of these guys just wanting to go back and reminisce, and it really does not work in this one. It really did not work. I didn't feel like he had a specific tone to this movie. And then, you know how I said the heart's missing? Towards the end of the movie, he tries to bring the heart back, and it really does not work whatsoever. I didn't like it, and it's just his directing was completely off. The writing to this movie, honestly, is the worst part of the movie. The writing is really stupid. They're trying to do what the first one did. In fact, they're referencing all these time travel movies like the first one did. The thing is, though, the thing that worked in the first movie was the dynamic between the four guys and them arguing over it. When you just reference things to reference them, it doesn't work, and the screenplay did not realize that. And the screenplay is extremely ridiculous. As I said, it has no heart whatsoever. And the worst part of this movie, honestly, it's really sad to say, but the time travel segments do not work in this movie. Probably because we're in the future and there's nothing different in the future. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing interesting about the future. There's nothing that feels like this is the future. There's nothing I felt like that. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like we're in the future. Like, Back to the Future 2, you see that we're in the future. This, I didn't feel like we're in the future. There's nothing different here. I mean, sure, like, we see that, like, Nick's become really successful, like, this stupid dance. Porn's become a bigger thing. It's really stupid overall. It was really dumb writing, and it wasn't very funny either. I was barely laughing throughout this movie, and that's really sad, because I was laughing a lot during the first movie, and there are some jokes where, yeah, I was laughing. The first 20 or so minutes, I was laughing a lot, actually. I found it to be very funny, and I definitely enjoyed it a lot more, but the writing here, I wasn't laughing very much at all, and it was really disappointing overall. The cinematography is okay, but it's just like the first one where the time travel sequences don't have the epic feel the first one did. The first one, when they went into that time travel hopped up time machine, it's like, oh my god, I can't wait for this, it's gonna be awesome. But here it's just like, whatever. I will say, though, that the writing, the best part of this movie is the last 2 minutes. I'm not kidding. The last 2 minutes, they go through all these different things. They go to, like, the Boston Tea Party, they become the Beatles. It's really fun overall. If there's anything I can recommend in this movie, it is the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes is the best part of this movie, and if you can't stand the rest of the movie, trust me, you'll want to stick around the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes is really funny, but other than that, it just is not that funny. The editing, it feels short, okay? The editing's not a problem. It feels short. It doesn't feel like it needs to be any longer than it was, but it went on way too long. It really did. I mean, again, I felt like this could have just been a short film. I really did. Minus Adam Scott, because Adam Scott, may I mention, is not in the first 30 minutes of this movie. When they meet up with Adam Scott's character, it just feels really like, oh, they needed a fourth guy. That's what it felt like to me. Is that they needed a fourth guy, so they brought in Adam Scott, and that's what happened. And just the first, 6 minutes just felt like it could have been a short film. Short film on the DVD, fine. Long feature-length movie sequel, no, it doesn't work. Nobody wanted it. Nobody really cared about it. I didn't want it. It ruined some of the characters for me. Did it ruin the series? No, I still love the first movie. The first movie is still very funny. But the thing that worked about the first movie were the 80s references and the fact that they're from the 80s. When you put that into the future, it doesn't work. And especially when you don't do anything creative with it. I mean, that's something I love about the future, is just time travel. The ideas that directors had. This director didn't have any creative thing for the future. There's nothing different about the future. Nothing. Except that Adam Yates, except that Adam Scott plays Adam's son. That's really the only difference in the future. There is no difference in the future whatsoever. There's nothing creative about the future, and it was really disappointing overall, because I always want to find something cool here. Also, guys, remember how each guy had their own, little plot in the first one, and we each cared about every single one of them? That doesn't happen in this movie. This is definitely more of just a situational comedy. Situation after situation, and it's really dumb. The third half of the movie, they try to recreate the first movie, and it really does not work. It really ends up being really dumb. There's a ridiculous twist in the movie that I'm going to talk about right now in the spoilers, and if you guys have not seen Hop the Time Machine 2, I really don't give a shit, because I don't think you guys care, but I'm going to talk about the really dumb twist. The twist that Adam was the one that was supposed to kill Lou, I thought is one of the dumbest twists I've ever seen this year, honestly. It's such a stupid twist, and just the fact that they did it, I thought was really dumb. I mean, I knew there was something weird about his character. I mean, his character was a fucking weirdo throughout the whole movie, but, when we found out that he was supposed to kill Lou, I thought it was really stupid and just felt really dumb to me. It just felt like they were trying to recreate the first one, and with the brilliant twist in the first one with Jacob, which was hilarious, and it is not nearly as funny as the twist here. But overall, guys, that's it for my review of Hop to Time Machine 2. I was really disappointed with this movie. I wanted it to be a lot more than it was. It really was not as good as it could have been, and I really hope that there's not a Hop to Time Machine 3. As far as I know, this movie failed at the box office. I think it failed. I don't think it made it was a box office bomb, so hopefully they do not make a third movie. Please don't make a third movie. This is enough. This could have been a short film on the DVD of the first movie, and I would have been fine with that. If you would have made a behind the music featurette, it could have been really funny. What they do with that in the beginning of the movie, it's really funny, and then the movie just goes on after that. After the first 6 minutes, it's alright, we get it, whatever, and then it just isn't as funny. That's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for another movie review. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.